right, hello everybody. My lovely wife is delayed. Children have delayed her. All right, so let's see. Is it weird TikToks on the Leaf helmets? A little bit. It is odd. Canes goes to the Pens. It'll cost a king's ransom. Oh yeah, yeah. It would cost a lot. How the Bruins doing? How the Bruins doing this year? Not too bad. Pretty good. Yeah. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Okay. Mine.
Hey. Don't start that already.
Hello, baby.
Goodness.
How are you?
Hello, peoples.
Hello, kitty.
Did you notice how the
You
kids
following?
were all deciding to come
Yeah,
and
I
tell me
told them
everything?
that's why
I
you
was
were
like,
late.
seriously, guys, I was supposed to be on there a minute ago.
Here you go.
Okay, but Mom.
She's wearing that because she got fixed.
Yes.
So
Oh,
that's why she's wearing that. Hey, baby. Her and her
your
sister got
face
fixed.
is lit up too bright. It's because he's so angelic. He glows.
Without the whiteboard, that does tend to happen. See, and then you get that
Normally,
ray from the light there.
We're pale. We're pale.
Me,
It's a
try.
side effect of being
And it's weird
super
because it
white
doesn't.
Canadians.
It doesn't always do it like that.
No. Yeah, no, it's really bright.
I'm excited for next game. I don't know about excited. I'm interested to see how it'll go because it should be an interesting show. But is that better? It's a little better, I guess.
We're still glowing.
And it's the same camera, same setup I use for videos.
Oilers, my Winnipeg Jets heart is breaking. I can't always wear Jets, even though I have a lot of Jets. That's probably the team I have the most.
Remember how I told you I was looking for the reverse retro decals that they had last time?
Yeah.
They finally got them. They're almost sold out already. I had to quickly.
Man.
It was like one left. Most of them had one left. I'm like, holy crap. So I've been waiting for those since reverse retro released, and apparently they got like, I don't know, 3 of each. I don't know. It just seems like there's not very many, but I managed to snag 11 of them.
There you go.
It's like, all right, I get as many of these as possible because they're gonna disappear.
Take off the Oilers jersey and put on a Winnipeg Jets. Well, if I was changing clothes on a live stream, that would definitely
that would probably
views, but let's not.
That might cause some problems with I mean, I know this isn't for kids. I always put that for live streams and for videos because you have to choose is it for kids or not.
Right.
And
this would be boring for kids.
That could be really not for kids. So yeah, we're really not for kids anyways. Really, just in general, as a general rule.
Hope you guys are fantastic.
We will be in about a week.
Thanks. I know.
I have three videos pre-recorded for next week. I wish I had more, so I'm going to be busy over the next 4 or 5 days trying to get videos done that'll post to the channel while we're away. I did do a redraft. I wasn't entirely happy with the redraft because it's a very recent draft, so I'm going, I don't know. I guess this is going to age badly, but and a couple of videos.
This is Ramstein that Shannon's wearing. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
I just had a shower and I just finished the treadmill, so I'm usually kind of sweaty. So if I'm wearing a sweatshirt, it won't be noticeable on camera. Nobody will know. So that's why I did it.
How are the jerseys sorted? They're by team.
By team.
So you can kind of
Anaheim,
see.
Arizona,
Alphabetically
Boston,
by
Buffalo,
team.
Calgary, Carolina, Chicago, Colorado, Columbus, Dallas, Detroit, Edmonton, Florida, LA, Minnesota, Montreal, Nashville, New Jersey, Islanders, Rangers, Ottawa, Philly, Pittsburgh, San Jose, Seattle, St. Louis, Tampa, Toronto, Vancouver, Vegas, Washington, Winnipeg.
There you go. Question for the entertainment guy. What is the better franchise, Lethal Weapon or Die Hard? And who wins in a fight, Riggs or McLean?
Riggs wins the fight. The better franchise, I would say, is Lethal Weapon because they knew when to stop. That's where I would go with that because Die Hard starts with he's just a regular guy. He's just, he's put out and he's having to fight these bad guys. By the end of the last movie, he's, how in Stranger Things, the guy goes from a regular cop to like a superhero. Yeah, the same thing happens with Bruce Willis in the Die Hard movies.
Shannon does not have the Lunar New Year jersey because
God,
they're
no.
ridiculously expensive.
$750. And you know what? They've sold out. They've sold out in almost every size. So
They're
it works.
so pretty.
Yeah, it works.
But yeah, no, we can't afford those.
No. So I've got a puck
That's
coming.
insane.
Got a puck coming. If I can get Deckles, I'll get
Joe
those.
Burrow, LMAO. Josh Allen is going to be the next Dan Marino, never winning a ring, unfortunately.
I heard they were talking about Joe Burrow on TSN yesterday, and they were comparing him to Joe Montana, and I was like, oh, other than the fact their first name's Joe, let's not do that comparison yet. But it was music to my ears. The best quarterback I've ever seen is Montana. With all due respect to Tom Brady, and I know Brady's seen as the best of all time, but just Montana was so efficient and so good at his job.
I'm 17. Am I a kid? Absolutely.
Yeah, I qualify anybody as a kid if they're 25 and under.
That's what I was just about to say. It's 25 and under.
When I was 25, I was pretty stupid. Now I'm pretty stupid and I'm old as well.
What?
So I went from being a stupid kid to being a stupid adult, but that's how that works.
Who makes the Super Bowl in your guys' eyes?
I really hope it's Cincinnati. I really hope it's Cincinnati, and I kind of hope it's San Francisco because I want revenge for Boomer Esiason. That's what I want. That's what I desperately want is that revenge, and I like their chances better against San Francisco.
Who should get the C if Horvat gets traded?
That's a good question. I would love to see JT Miller get it just because the fan base would be so happy to see him as the leader. I think Pettersson. I think you get Pettersson to sign a long-term extension this summer, and you make him the captain. You give him the team. He has shown a lot of signs that he would be good in a leadership role, and his 200-foot game is underrated.
The non-NHL jerseys are not stored in this room. They're on a rack.
I've got
a different
AHL ones here. I've got some CHL ones here, so that's like Western Hockey League, Ontario Hockey League. The All-Star ones are I've put them away. I had so many All-Star jerseys. I've kind of stored those for now. Maybe I'll bring them all to California. I can wear a different one because it's the All-Star break, so I can just bring them all to California.
That'd be boring.
Can you imagine paying an extra couple $100 to get them on the plane?
No, that's not.
Okay.
Some of these reverse retros are too good to be only to be used for one season. Some teams need to implement them as their third jerseys moving forward.
Calgary did it. I think other teams are going to do it as well. I would be very surprised if some of these don't return. The way to tell which teams rushed through using them and got them out of the way and which ones are sprinkling it throughout the season. I think the ones that sprinkle it throughout the season are more likely to keep them around.
Should Tampa be moved down towards the panic side of the board for their road game performances?
No, because they are a team that's reached the Stanley Cup final 3 straight years, and they've been in third place every time they do it. So the fact they're in third, I'm not concerned about the road record. They're excellent at home.
Hot take. The biggest problem with hockey broadcasting right now is that instead of hammering out a deal to bring the NHL network to Hulu, the league and Disney have inserted their cranial structures into their posteriors.
The NHL doesn't do a great job of marketing itself. At least they've got the ESPN deal, though. At least they have something with ESPN, which definitely helps get more eyeballs on the product. There's definitely areas that could be improved in both the way ESPN Plus does things and in the way like ESPN Plus. I don't know if it's just up on the north side of the border, but a lot of glitches during their broadcasts. TNT, if you're going to schedule it so that a 4:30 start and a 7 o'clock start are going to be together, then you can't have 20 minutes in between games to have them just sitting and talking. You have to quickly get into that second game. Keep your viewers around. I don't know how many people stick around for that chatting for 20 minutes.
I like this jersey. That's why I'm wearing it. I really wish the Oilers would go back to the copper instead of the hideous orange, but I like this jersey.
Eventually they'll do a third. I think eventually they'll do a third in the copper colors because everything comes back around again.
They're not my favorite, but I like the copper Oilers.
Yeah. See, and then me, I didn't go with the jersey because now what I could have gone with, and this one's in here. I haven't hung this one up yet. This one I found on eBay, and I'm really proud of this. Because this was a good find.
The Lunar New Year bun needs to go back upstairs.
Yes. Because this is like Chicago Wolves, Atlanta Thrashers. This is an old AHL jersey, and I think it's fantastic. So when I do the countdown this summer, jerseys like this will absolutely be in there. I want to have ones in there people may not even know I have. So, and then I was thinking I could pre-record the entire countdown in one day.
Oh my gosh, it would take forever.
I could pre-record the entire countdown in one day.
So you would do nothing else that day.
And then, yeah. Well, I would pre-record that
non-hockey
day's
day.
videos in the week leading up to it. And then that day, I would pre-record. And see, and then I'm saving myself so much time.
That's not how that works.
I'm saving
It's
myself a lot of
still
time.
A lot of time now.
Does
Does
Vancouver
Vancouver have any good Mexican restaurants?
I would imagine they would.
Probably.
I would imagine they would. Vancouver's huge.
You'd have to ask somebody in Vancouver, but I would assume so. I don't know. We don't really ever eat in Vancouver because that requires driving to Vancouver.
And then having a place to park while you eat in
Right?
Vancouver.
Which
is
I really hate doing. Yeah, we don't
pain.
ever eat in Vancouver.
Nope. We leave
Ever.
Vancouver to eat.
Ever.
Pretty much you.
Never, ever. I don't even remember ever eating in Vancouver.
It's usually Pitt Meadows where we're eating. Pitt Meadows, Coquitlam.
Yeah.
Something like that. And then it's not fancy.
Yeah, we don't eat in Vancouver
No.
because we'd have to be in Vancouver. So I don't know. Hoping the Canes trade for Meyer. Who would you want them to get?
Meyer is having a fantastic year. Everything he touches is going in the net. Meyer would be a fantastic pickup, especially with Patch's season being done. Patches, of course, Pacioretty is going to UFA market, so they wouldn't have to worry about his contract going forward. You'd have to work out an extension, though, if Meyer was going to go to Carolina. If I was Carolina, I would want to work out an extension for Meyer first and then trade for him. San Jose is going to want a lot back. Carolina's in a position where this is potentially a cup year. It's worth going all in. Plus, you keep Meyer around.
How many different whiteboards do you use? It's a lot. Or
It's
any
a lot.
front and back? Only one is.
Yeah.
The tall stand-up one is front and back.
That's in the.
Let's see, there's
the
5
salon.
whiteboards right next to me. We've got 4 standing up.
Mhm.
The tiny one that has the power rankings, and then the one that has the the games that are going to be on the next day.
The funny thing is with the tiny board for the power rankings, I find that
That's a lot just in this room.
it's weird. I feel like I look at it and I go, you know what? I think this team should be here and that team should be there a lot more. So that's part of the reason there was a lot more movement this week in the power rankings was I was like, you know, these teams should be moved. And I was more confident, but I don't know why that is. But I had to change the power rankings board because Cinnabon decided that the magnets were delicious. So I had to make sure it was small metallic magnets that she won't eat rather than the delicious cardboard magnets.
Magnet snacks are the best.
Jet must have talked to her and said, have you tried the magnets while you're done? How can you not have eaten the magnets? Go ahead, eat some magnets. He'll be fine with it. Just do the little head shake and run away from him when he gets upset.
Who trades for Larkin?
I don't think Larkin's going anywhere. I think Larkin's staying in Detroit. I can't see Larkin going anywhere. I think, I would be very surprised if Detroit trades him. Oh, I thought I saw another one, but I didn't. So that's all. It's still early.
Okay, you all threw me off. Oh, what camera do you use?
It is a Logitech Brio 4K. So that's why it gets like all the bright and shiny and everything. It's a really high def camera. For the entertainment guy set, it's a Logitech 1030E. So it is a different camera on this set than on the other.
Given how the current Devils are pretty unfamiliar with being good this time of year, you think they make a deadline splash? Last one was Maroon in 2018.
I think that the Devils are in a good spot. I think that with the cap space they do have, they could very well be a buyer. I like, and they're one of the many teams that have been connected with Horvat. Horvat would be a fantastic pickup wherever he goes. I do think the Devils, they don't need to be very aggressive because they got a lot of good young players there, so you don't want to sell that. But yeah, they could be somewhat aggressive at the deadline.
Recently started re-watching Game of Thrones to see if the ending still hurts me. LMAO. What are both of your thoughts on the ending and the show as a whole?
I never really watched it. I tried watching the first season.
I did watch the entire first season because I had so many friends say that it was so good.
I watched season 8. I watched all of season 8 for one reason. I knew the internet was going to rage. I was like, this is the final year. They're going to screw it up. I can't wait to see how they screw it up. So I went through like here's what people wanted to happen. And then when things happen, I was like, oh, people are going to be so mad. And then, yep, I was right. People were really angry.
Yeah,
Hey,
and
Maple.
I only watched the first season because I had so many of my friends telling me that it was really good. But for me, it was way too unnecessarily violent and gory, and I don't like that. And I don't mind nudity in movies and TV shows, but it felt like there was nudity for the sake of nudity.
Oh, yes, there was.
Having
Absolutely.
two, we'll call them characters, even though we don't even know who they are or anything like that, having sex in this part of the scene while this scene is going on. It's unnecessary. It wasn't needed.
Nope.
It's just there so that people can be like, oh my gosh, look what they're doing. That's why. So, no, I stopped watching it because I didn't like it. It was...
Maple got fixed. That's
No.
why she's got the bread on her head, because the cone did
Yes.
not work. Our cat, she was really
so
sad.
depressed.
She was so
she would just sit in the hallway.
So she had the cone of shame, and she just sit there like, I did something bad. I don't know what I did, but the people are angry with me.
Yeah, and then
So-
Azrael is a spaz and
She kept pulling it
was
off.
getting out of it every couple minutes.
Yeah, and then she'd come walking in like, got out of it.
Yep.
How's it going?
Dee, 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 dee,
So her
dee.
sister's sad like this, and she's just marching around. I got out of it. Why don't you
So
just
we
get
had
out
to
of it?
get the little stuffy ones.
Yeah.
So that's fine. But they should be able to get them off in 2 more days.
Wouldn't it be
and then
tomorrow?
they'll be...
Isn't it Wednesday they go back?
Oh, yes.
So it should be tomorrow.
Yes, they should.
They're
Have I
doing
watched
well,
all of-
so no reason they
Oh,
shouldn't.
Call the Midwife. I'm not totally caught up with Call the Midwife, but
think there's
that's
a
a
season
great
you're missing
show.
on that
I
one.
know. That's a great show. I do really like that one.
How many
But
goals
every
does-
single episode makes me cry.
How many goals does Montreal beat Boston by? See, the funny thing is, Montreal historically has a very good record against Boston. I never count out Montreal against Boston. Even when Boston's destroyed them, I still on some level, because there's so much heartache Montreal's bestowed upon me as a Bruins fan, I never rule out more heartache.
What do you think about the Rangers calling up Will
Cooley.
Cooley and sending Blaze to Hartford?
Cooley's, if he can play as well for the Rangers and with the same effort that he did at the World Juniors, he's going to be a solid addition. It is interesting because the Rangers' development of young players is one of those hot button topics. So if Cooley struggles, it's only going to add to that, because we've already got Lafreniere, Kakko, although Kakko's been playing well lately. I'll be interested to see how Cooley does. I like the player.
What do you think the Oilers will do at the deadline? Just want to hear your thoughts.
I think they'll make depth moves. Kane's back now, so their scoring on the wing should be fine. I like Holloway, his effort, and depth on the blue line. They will definitely be adding, I would think, some depth on the blue line.
Which Islanders center is gone next year for ready to get the ice time needed? Oh my goodness. I don't know.
Cizikas, Pajot,
Pajot,
Nelson,
Nelson.
Barzell are all signed going forward.
There you go.
Between the four, Pajot might be the one that ends up being on his way out of town. I don't know if they want to carry that contract going forward with, the salary cap being static. If the salary cap goes up, there's always the opportunity as well to take Ratu and move him to the wing if you want. Young players have come in and played the wing for a while before they move to center. Guys move back and forth. You may not need to trade out a center.
This is Ramstein. He's nice.
Yeah, this is my Zeigdish shirt.
My mom was wanting to know what she was, but we had to explain this at Christmas. Remember that? We were talking about how that went on the
Who would I say is the best
concert.
team in the South right now? Carolina.
I offered to let her listen to the song, but she
What,
wanted
Zeigdish?
no part of it. For
Zeigdish has
some
like really cool chanting
reason. She didn't want that one or Papa.
and
I don't know why. We totally could have
and I've
put that
got a
on the
Papa
TV.
shirt. I've got Zeigdish.
I know.
When we go to California,
Somebody
maybe I'll
must
just
have
bring all
thought
my
you were
Rammstein.
Really cool for Christmas.
Well, I thought I was really cool because I
Oh.
bought a lot of them too.
Not the one you got for Christmas.
No, but I could have. Wow.
That's a horrible. I could have bought it. Well,
I could
fine.
have.
You
Well,
could have. but
One
you
of them you ordered. I did order for myself, so I have 2 of them. So that happens. A shadow. I really wish when I do this for him that this would mean I don't have to do it while I'm watching games, but he still expects it while there's like 10 games on.
Are you all excited for California weather? It's going to be so warm.
I really haven't thought about it.
I have.
I'm in here all day. I make videos all day and go to bed.
So
I haven't
warm.
started packing. I haven't even thought about it.
Like 17 degrees while we're there. So warm. What do you think the Kraken will do with the deadline?
Kraken don't need to add very much either. They have the best offensive depth in the NHL, depending on who you ask. Might need a little bit of help on the blue line because and you're going to see that a lot at the deadline and a premium price paid for depth on the blue line.
Other baby.
Because we always see teams that go on long runs have their depth challenged on the blue line. So that's what I expect this year.
Who's the most balanced team in hockey?
Well, as I said up front, it's probably Seattle. When everybody's healthy in Pittsburgh, they're pretty balanced. Tampa Bay has a solid 1-4 line. I really like New Jersey up front. On the blue line, if Colorado had everybody healthy, but that's just not the case. Hasn't been the case all year. Boston on the blue line is ridiculously good. I do wonder if they have enough points on the blue line, but whatever. And then in net, I've seen debates about who the best tandem is. I may do a video on that for when we're on holidays. That way I won't see the comment section.
It's pretty cool in LA, actually. For you.
Not compared to here.
But we live in Canada.
So the overnight
It'll
low.
be warm.
The overnight low there is 7 degrees Celsius. Our high today is 5 degrees Celsius.
It's getting up to 5?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
It's been 2 degrees the past couple of days, and it's cold.
It's
so
gonna be much
17 is toasty. That's a
17's
nice
That's
spring
shorts
day.
weather. That's shorts weather for me.
That's a really warm spring day for us.
As soon as it's about 60 degrees Fahrenheit, I'm good with wearing a pair of shorts. I'm good.
I went there one time. I went my first trip to Disneyland. We were having a snowstorm here, and we went down there, and I don't even remember what temperature it was, but I was thinking it was so warm and
like
just
15.
needing a light sweatshirt.
Yeah.
And they were wearing their big old parkas. I didn't even know people down there
They had
owned
heaters
coats like that.
They had heaters.
Everywhere.
They were all around heaters.
So
we're like,
funny.
why are people around
No,
heaters?
we're
It's
used to
warm.
really cold. So for us, it's nice and warm.
Who do I think will be the next jersey manufacturer? I got a bad feeling it's going to be Nike. Just I think it's probably going to be Nike.
I hope not.
Why are you chewing on the cardboard?
She loves cardboard. Cardboard.
It's from hanging around with rabbits.
Shoulder. She eats the spinach.
The Kings do at the deadline.
The bunny pellets.
I'll be interested to see what the Kings do about their goaltending, if anything. Their goaltending really needs to be fixed. Phoenix Copley's been doing his best, but he's not a starter. If they want to succeed in the playoffs, they're going to need to make sure they have the goaltending that they need. Quick's had a rough year. Peterson's in the minors. There might be a goaltender or two out there that's available at the deadline. I'm not sure that there'll be an upgrade available, but that's something I'd watch with LA.
The bobbleheads, the Funko Pop, those are Funko Pops. It's not every team. It's kind of random.
Yeah, it's whatever they had at the store.
Yeah.
So, and they're older too.
Yeah, you can't really see them. A bunch of them are the Canadian exclusives.
Some of them have been traded. I really haven't collected NHL Funko Pops for like the last 3 or 4 years because I didn't really have anywhere to put them. So I was like, I better stop this now.
Shannon, will you ever retire?
Eventually. At some point in time, yes. I'm not worried about that right now.
Super old though, so.
Well, I am super old.
I know, it's almost your birthday where you're super duper old though.
This is true. Stop.
Who wins the Meyer race? Who is the best fit?
Meyer's going to make any team he goes to better. There's going to be a bidding war for Timo Meier. As mentioned earlier, Carolina would be a good fit. I mean, if Colorado found the money for him, he'd be a perfect fit for Colorado as well, because I think they've missed Burakovsky since he left. But again, money's going to be an issue there. Would Boston be in on him? Probably not. Boston's got a pretty good depth up front, although there's rumors they may be after Horvat because they want to make sure they can cover for when Krejci and Bergeron are potentially gone. So there are a lot of places Timo Meier could end up. It's going to be expensive.
Just want to say, really appreciate and enjoy everything you do with both channels. Watch every video you put out.
Thank you.
Oh, that's nice. Tarasenko will remain and retire a blue.
I don't think so. Tarasenko, remember there was the trade request that never happened, but we never really 100% heard he rescinded it. Plus, he's a UFA this summer, and for St. Louis, it may just end up being too much money if he wants a salary similar to what they've been paying him now. I think they'd be better off letting him go.
When Pittsburgh is healthy, where do they rank?
If they're healthy, they're at least a playoff team. I mean, the best in the division is still Carolina. New Jersey's the second best in the division, especially if they can fix their home record. I would slot Pittsburgh in as third if they were fully healthy and everybody's going.
Do you use all of the whiteboards you have?
No, they all have writing on
All
them.
of
So,
all
yeah.
of the whiteboards get used. All of
Yep.
them. They are all used fairly regularly too. Most of them have assigned jobs.
Yeah, one of them I had to put out to pasture, so I've got a replacement coming over the next couple of days. Does DeBrincat stay in Ottawa? Before the season, I would have said yes. The closer we get to the deadline, the further they fall out of the playoff race. I'll say that his asking price would probably be too rich. It hasn't gone that well for him in Ottawa compared to what he was able to do with Chicago last year. I like him a lot. It may just be that it makes more sense to trade him for what they'd get back than to hold on to him. So if he's still there after the deadline, I would say yes, he stays. If he's not there after the deadline, then we know he's gone.
Where are all the cats? I think we have 4 of them in here right now.
Just the 2.
Maple's right there staring at us. Azrael was in here just a second ago. I think Pixel's probably still up in my sewing room.
Azrael comes and goes.
Yeah, before we were doing this, I was up in my sewing room, so I had 3 kitties.
Azrael has no attention span whatsoever. There's none.
Oh, here comes Maple.
Because I'll be playing with her, and then I'm like, give me a sec, and I go do something, and she's gone. And I'm like, I just said, give me a sec. I'm right here. She's like, fine. And she runs off.
Shannon's wife. It's adorable how supportive you are. I'm only 24, but I hope I find someone as supportive as you. Love this channel. It helps that Shannon's pretty darn awesome. So that makes it easier.
See, when she met me, I was old and had no money. So she wasn't with me for looks. She wasn't with me for money. So pretty cool.
You know? Oh, Shannon. Okay. Did I read that one?
I did.
Okay. That's why I was confused. Will Lucic be dealt / sent down at the deadline?
I don't think so. Calgary really, you see what Shadow's doing here? You see this? I get this all night when I'm watching games. I don't think Lucic is going anywhere. He's an inspirational leader. He's a veteran on their team. I love Luch. It's weird because 4 or 5 years ago, not as much, but he's really developed into this really solid bottom 6 forward, and I think he'll stick around. I don't think he ends up being dealt or sent down.
Appreciate what you do, King. Much love. Do you think the Sabres are the real life example of you can't outdrink your defensive problems with goals?
I think defensively, I think there's more to give there. I think that Samuelsson helps bring their goals against down. The one thing with Buffalo is, and I do wonder about this at the deadline for them too. I love the Craig Anderson story. I love that he's played 700 games in the NHL. I like Comrie. I like Luukkonen. But do they have a goaltender that can really potentially have them win a series? I do wonder if Buffalo needs to upgrade their goaltending. And that's the one concern I have with them more than the blue line.
You wouldn't let my wife wear an Oilers jersey? If Shannon told me I wasn't allowed to wear a certain team, that'd be what I would be wearing every single day.
You are not allowed.
All the day.
You are not allowed to cheer for the Bruins.
Yep, I know.
Don't you dare cheer for the Bruins.
See, if Shannon
I don't want to hear let's
said
go
I
Bruins,
wasn't allowed to
not
wear
even once.
something,
I don't want you wearing
what
Bruins
I would be
gear.
wearing every single day.
I don't want you humming, shipping up to Boston.
We'd have new blankets on our bed of that team.
I don't want Bruins blankets on the bed.
You know I would. So, yeah, you don't let your wife?
No, you put the Bruins blanket.
Good luck with that. Where did you buy the Shannon and the Hockey Guy signs behind you?
Well, the Hockey Guy one came from the Hall of Fame. They actually sent that one to me. The one with my name on it, I bought from the NHL store. So Yeah, the Hall of Fame sent me the hockey guy one.
Opinions on Detroit's rebuild position currently and what they should do moving forward. Love the channel.
Detroit's in better shape, I think, than a lot of Wings fans think they are. They're still a year away from being a playoff team. A lot of good prospects up front on the blue line. They've got prospects in net as well. It's just the coming out of the rebuild's taking longer than I think some people had hoped.
2 question. Which teams need a rebrand the most? And would a team take laugh if the deal is right? I don't think so, but my gut says yes.
If Lafreniere was on the market, there'd be a lot of teams lining up for him. He's got a ton of potential. Lafreniere still has that star potential. He has that star quality. He's just taking longer to develop. In terms of which teams need a rebrand, the Capitals need to take the word mark off their front of their jersey or just put the Weagle as the third. I don't understand why they've got this beautiful eagle with the outline of the Capital as their secondary logo. It's not a primary on any of their jerseys. Maybe it'll be a primary on the stadium jersey. It's just ridiculous. It's this beautiful thing. And of course, the Ducks will go back to the Mighty Ducks. I think the Canucks, based on the new skate logo, they're going to go, or the new skate jersey, I think they're going to go back to that logo.
Where would Boudreaux be hired next? Kudos to Bear and Shadow.
Boudreaux does still want to coach. He said that in an interview yesterday. He does still want to coach in the NHL. If he was going to coach again, I don't think it would be in one of these markets where it's absolutely bonkers. You know, a good spot for him would be if Florida flames out and they decide, all right, well, we're done, and they decide to move on from Maurice. Boudreaux might be a good hire for them. They're a fun, exciting team that can score. We saw in Vancouver, he can get goals out of his team. So that could be a good spot for him.
You think the Avs will make any noise this deadline?
Depends on how injured they are. If they're going to get healthy, I don't think they're going to do a lot. I think they'd like to shore up their middle spot. That's why Horvat gets mentioned a lot with the Avs. But I don't think they need to do very much. The goaltending's been surprisingly solid in that Georgiev's been really consistent this year. I'm really happy to see how well he's played.
I can tell Shadow really loves you guys. No, Shadow loves Shannon, not me. He puts up with me being in his vicinity.
Go ahead, pet him.
Yeah, he doesn't like me petting him even. He's okay with it right now. Usually, like, if I go to pet him, he kind of does the, why are you touching me? No, he loves Shannon. That's it. Only Shannon. Yes, Shannon likes hockey cards. He has a lot of hockey cards.
I have tons of cards I haven't opened
He
yet.
used to have the boxes of cards right here,
Yeah,
but he
now
doesn't
it's
anymore.
pucks.
We do have a lot of hockey cards.
This summer, I will do the openings because shorts.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
I'll do shorts videos where I open up cards.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Opinions on Detroit's rebuild position currently and what they should do moving forward. Love the channel.
Don't overreact. Don't overcorrect. Make sure you've got a good mix of veterans and kids for next year. And I think the sky's the limit with Detroit. Next year could be a big year for them.
If you were the coach of the Oilers, would you play Holloway with McDavid? And thoughts on Skinner as an all-star?
Skinner's an all-star in part because the goaltending in the Pacific Division's been sketchy this year. It hasn't been fantastic. As far as how I feel about Holloway on the wing with McDavid, Holloway's been generating pretty well the last couple of weeks. He's been playing quite well. I don't think that's the craziest idea. If you played him on the wing with McDavid, I think that could work. She does want to jump up on this desk. I wouldn't encourage that. She's got that look.
She hates it. Do the Rangers have any pressing needs to address at the deadline, or are they solid as is?
Well, I mean, they're happy with their goaltending. I can't see there being a big move on the blue line. I could see them making an addition up front. Patrick Kane's name will be tied to the Rangers until he gets moved because he has natural chemistry with Panarin, or at least he did when they were in Chicago together. And I don't think there's going to be a ton else done if they do pick up Kane.
Oh, what's your favorite dinosaur? There's the important questions.
Triceratops.
Stegosaurus.
Always been Triceratops.
Stegosaurus.
I like the defensive dinosaurs. Even like with hockey players and with dinosaurs, I like the ones that can play defense.
There you go.
That was always my favorite. I was like, really? It can fight a T-Rex? Awesome.
Cool.
Are there any reasons Columbus keeps Lars as coach? But their coach is Larson. I was like, Brad Larson. I think he's done. I think at the end of this season, I think he's probably out. And I keep hearing about Yuki Alonen and how he would be a great NHL coach. Columbus might be a good organization to pick up Yuki Alonen. I'm surprised nobody's put those two. I haven't seen anyways where people have put those two together, but it would make some sense.
Do you think the Blues could make a cup run at all?
I won't count the Blues out, but it looks highly unlikely at this point. They're not as good as they were in 2018, 2019. There are definitely some holes in that lineup, and they're likely going to move Tarasenko and O'Reilly at the deadline.
Just wanted to say, Scott Rowland made the Baseball Hall of Fame for all who care. Love the channel.
Oh, there you go. Baseball Hall of Fame. That one could be really tough to get into too, can it, Kitty? You going to keep pawing at me? I've already picked you up twice.
You guys are great ambassadors from Canada. Ah, thanks. Colorado is on fire. When Makar going to be back?
Yeah, Makar, it's day to day. They're not talking about what it is. I mentioned in the news video today, it's starting to get to the point where it looks like Pettersson last year, where it was, well, he's only out for, it's only day to day. It's no big deal. And then actually, he might be done for the year. And it sort of feels with Makar that we're going to hear that it's week to week or something more, but they haven't really said anything.
Yes, Maple has toast on her head.
Why wouldn't she have toast on her head? It's crazy.
Right?
Why doesn't
Who
your
doesn't
cat
have toast on her head?
head?
Her and Azrael got fixed last week, so they
Yeah.
have to wear cones. So she has toast.
We had to get them
'Cause the
fixed
cone was awful.
before it started warming up, and they go into heat because they'll go into heat. Usually early February is when a cat will start with the going into heat, and I thought it would be miserable with the way Azrael yells now.
She's a very meowy cat. Very, very meowy cat. Timing of Caulfield surgery, smart or fishy?
From what I've been hearing, if it's been irritating him as long as it has been, it's late. They should have sent him off for that surgery much earlier than they did. The good news is he was playing through it. He was scoring at around a 50-goal pace. The bad news is he's out for the rest of the year, and every season's different. We'll see if that injury ends up affecting his shooting.
How do you repair a patch falling off of a jersey? If you can sew, like with a sewing machine, it is harder to do it by hand, especially harder to make it look good. You sew it on, you use a zigzag
I can
stitch.
make it look good.
If that is not a possibility, get some fabric glue. All you do is you put some. Are you mumbling over here to yourself?
No, I'm good.
You okay?
I'm fine.
Get some fabric glue.
Elmer's works.
No, Elmer's does not work. Get some fabric glue, actual fabric glue, not Elmer's, not super glue, not hot glue. Get fabric glue. Put cardboard between, like in your jersey.
Not the glue that has like a horse head on the front of it. It's bad glue.
Shannon, oh my
What?
gosh. Put the glue on
I'm just
there.
helping.
I usually put some wax paper and then a book to hold it down. That's it.
Or
and then
gum.
You're good.
Gum works.
Don't listen to Shannon.
Can you get gum out of things
Don't
easily?
Listen.
So it works as glue.
To
Gum
Shannon.
glue. Oh my gosh, I just invented something. It's gum and it's glue. That's patent pending. You guys can't take that. Oh, that's a really good idea. That'd be awesome. You know, when you need to glue something during that, you're like, I don't have any glue. Wait, my gum is glue. And you just use that instead.
All the time. This is how he really is all the time.
It's genius. I'm going to be rich.
Okay.
This is going to be
Love
great.
the channel. I know you have mentioned the player career videos don't do as well, but I really appreciate them.
You'll be glad though when we're on holiday, because I've already made 2 that are going to post to the channel after we're gone on holiday. I do intend to have 1 per day. What do you want? I've already picked you up twice.
What's your favorite reverse retro jersey and hat combo?
Ooh, jersey and hat combo. Well, I really do like
Ooh, I like
Space
that
Coyotes.
question.
From the first round, it's anything Space Coyote. From this round, I really do like the way that the Boston one pops when you have the Boston reverse retro hat to go with the reverse retro jersey. Looks really smart. Calgary is fantastic. Geez, you know, that's a really tough one. Florida's though. Florida's is nice if you can get a hat that's the right color. I haven't found one that's the right color that really makes that jersey pop. So I don't have the jersey hat combo for Florida yet, but I've got my fingers crossed. That's a great question.
You guys know how to get them all excited. Okay, Valimaki re-signs with Arizona. Arizona does good job resurrecting players.
I still don't understand why Florida or why the Flames waived Valimaki. I didn't think he was that bad, and I know Flames fans were tired of him by the time he left, but I didn't think Valimaki was that bad, and he's still young. So yeah, Arizona just gives him a chance to play, and it turns out guys like Ghost and Valimaki can play.
Imagine the Canucks now if in 2016, not signing Eriksson, rebuilding with their cap space, no Roussel, Beagle, Myers ever being signed,
OEL.
Utilizing their cap space to take on contracts and taking picks.
Yeah, see, the problem was that Jim Benning would not admit, you go play. Benning would not admit that they needed to do an actual retool or a rebuild. He just kept trying to patch things. And so when a boat's sinking and it's taking on water, if you're walking around with a patch kit trying to sew it up and humming to yourself, probably not going to work. Boat's going to keep sinking. So that's what the Canucks have been doing for years, and now they're trying to sink it and bring it back to the surface. You ever see Raise the Titanic? This feels just as plausible as Raise the Titanic. It's a terrible movie, but the scene where they actually bring the Titanic to the surface of the ocean, it's so stupid that it's beautiful. They just get big balloons and just raise it up, and it survives the whole trip to the surface.
That's nice.
And then you can just drive it. They drive it back to shore. Like you just do that.
Right.
It just had a hole in it. You just patch the hole and you take it to shore. There's no barnacle problems. There's no everything's been eaten problems. None of it. Nope.
Cool.
Nothing. It's great. Raise the Titanic. Great movie.
What should I expect from my Canucks game this Friday?
A lot of chanting. A lot of hemming and hawing. I don't expect anything from the Canucks for the rest of this year, but I swear to God, there will be a rant if they go on a winning streak against crap teams and ownership comes out or management comes out and talks about, hey, things are getting better, guys. See, things are getting better now. We changed the coach. I will be very angry.
My niece wiped face paint on my white jersey. Don't want to throw it in the wash. Suggestions on cleaning that up without damaging. Oh.
Hand wash.
Thinking
and even that
with face paint that's probably oil based.
Would that stain it?
It could stain it the longer you have it on there. I'd use Dawn dish soap.
Yep.
And then I would use more Dawn dish soap with baking soda in it to get that out. But the oil
you gotta be
could
really
stain
careful.
it.
You gotta be really careful with that.
Yeah, and good idea not throwing it in the wash. The heat will set the stain and make it permanent.
Yep. So you gotta be careful with that.
If it's an oil-based, I would use Dawn dish soap. Dawn works really, really good for cleaning laundry.
I'd be dabbing it, just gentle, really, really gentle. You don't want to push it into the fabric.
Montreal is projected to have the most cap space next year. I think we will see a bunch of Monahan-style deals this offseason by Hughes.
Depends on how close he thinks they are. So this is where things get tricky. Like, the Rangers went through their retool, and then all of a sudden, bam, they went out and got Panarin. If Montreal's able to add a big name in the offseason, I wouldn't rule out that taking place. Depending on what happens with the draft lottery, of course. If they get Bedard in the draft lottery, they could be big players this summer. They could add another forward on the market, and suddenly they're back in the mix. I think Montreal, they still have work to do, but there's a lot of good pieces there. I do think there's a lot of good young players on their team.
I didn't even realize this was live. Thought it was a video. Well, surprise!
I have a hard time with that myself. I do. There's times where I'm doing things, I'm like, is this live or is it a video? It's part of getting older.
Maybe I should buy some Dawn. I get lots of stains on my shirt. Dawn works really, really well. Yep. And you don't get the buildup that you do on
Tide markers. Tide markers, don't those work too?
A little bit, but not for big things because it's just the tiniest bit. But the Dawn dish soap, it works really, really good. And then you can make a paste with baking soda, and that works for a lot of things.
Just want to take a minute. Thank you for all the hard work you do on a daily basis. Appreciate you. Go Sabres. I would like to apologize to the Sabres fans as well for predicting they'll make the playoffs this year, because as soon as I predicted that, so I will not predict anything from here on. It will be only doom and gloom from this guy. And when they make the playoffs, you're welcome. And if they don't, I'm sorry.
Who do you see moved out of Arizona this deadline?
Anybody on an expiring contract will be on the market. We know Keller's untouchable. We know that almost anybody else isn't. I've seen rumors about Nick Schmaltz. I think Schmaltz would be a really good pickup for somebody if they move him. I think Chychrun's probably going to be gone. The one thing with Arizona, though, is I don't think they'll move off their asking price for Chychrun, because he could be there past the deadline, and then they could move him during the summer. So I wouldn't be entirely surprised if Chychrun stays.
Oh, thanks for repping Seattle Kraken with your thermal cup. Hey, isn't it pretty? Woo, I like it. I really like the Seattle colors.
I do too. I like the
did I miss
secondary
the
logo
super
more
chat?
than the main logo, but I got
hold
that
on.
one.
I'll try and find it. No, got that one.
Got that one.
Oh. No, thoughts on Verana.
Verana right now, his numbers in the
Thanks,
AHL have been poor. And so I think they'd love to trade him. But when a guy's not playing in the AHL, and when he does, he's not playing very well, I get the feeling he's going to be a buyout this offseason if things don't improve.
Hey there, fellow Stars fan. What do you think the realistic outlook for this team is this year? I think the depth we have now can take us all the way if they can perform consistently. Love y'all.
What team?
Stars.
Oh, and the Stars. Oh, I thought it said, hello, fellow Star Wars fan.
No, Stars. Oh.
I just saw Star Wars. I'm like, Star Wars has a team? The Stars, really, it's consistency with Dallas that makes me nervous. Like last night against Buffalo. Like, I don't want to take anything away from Buffalo winning that game, but Dallas had it, and then they just didn't. And that's what scares me with them. They've been very inconsistent. It's the dog days of January. That being said, the West is wide open, especially in the Central. If they can get hot in the playoffs, look out. They've got really good depth up front. They've got a solid blue line. And Otter, we already know Otter can be fantastic in the postseason.
I've heard a rumor that you're Bruce Boudreau's son. Is that true? I hope that's a joke.
That'd be great. I would have loved to have had Bruce Boudreau for my dad growing up. That would have been great. That would have been great. Not to speak ill of my father, but yeah, that would have been great.
Do you think the Bruins make a move at the deadline? If so, will it ruin the chemistry?
If they make a move, it'll be with the idea of not ruining the chemistry. So the way that you do that is either you bring back somebody you know, or like Luke Shen could end up back in Tampa as an example. Or you just make sure that you're bringing in guys that aren't going to play that prominent of a role, your depth guys. If Nosek's going to be out for a while, maybe you bring in somebody who can play fourth line center, who can be an extra forward, that kind of thing. I don't think the Bruins are going to do a lot at the deadline.
Do you think Vancouver can actually turn things around in a few years, like Rutherford has said, or is it unrealistic?
Oh man, I want to believe in Vancouver turning things around, but it's just been so long. It's been so many years. It's been so many frustrating seasons. I don't know that a few years are going to make that difference. Even though you have Demko, you have Hughes, you have Pedersen, but just there's this dark cloud over the team right now, and until that lifts, I really don't see a lot of hope right now for things.
Oh, we've had people ask us about us going to California and doing a meetup. We do plan on doing a meetup on the
Saturday
4th.
It's the 4th of Saturday.
Well, let me open my calendar.
I will
accept
birthday
dates.
Presents.
Shannon's birthday is 4 days after we get home, and he's turning.
Yeah.
It's a big birthday this year. Yes, yeah. Saturday the 4th. So we do plan on doing a meetup of some sort on Saturday the 4th. I haven't totally figured out what we'll do, though. We're not going to play hockey just because that's way more difficult for us to plan. We plan on just meeting at a restaurant or something of some sort.
That's the plan.
We don't want something like last time when we went to the Cheesecake Factory and had to wait forever
Yeah.
outside where it was
Yeah.
really cold, and then we had to wait forever inside because that's a lot of people. So, people, if you are in the area, feel free to message me on either Discord or the Hockey Guy email,
Or you can text
or
her. Her
the-
phone number
no,
is.
shut it. Or on Facebook through the Hockey Guy, because
Here, I'll write
I'm
it
the one
down.
that reads those.
I'll write down your number.
No, Shannon is not giving out my phone number, but feel free
I don't
to
have her
message
phone
me
number.
and help me figure this out, because I do not know
Married
California.
to her, she won't tell me your phone number.
Shut it. Yes, but we are hoping to have a meetup on Saturday afternoon, someplace that would work for a random number of people, because that is one of the difficulties in
Not too far from
planning
Disney, because we're going to
meetups.
be close to
We
Disney. So
we know that we will need to take an Uber, and we are fine with that. We understand we
yourself.
shouldn't
I'm
do
walking.
it right by Disney, because then you have way
I'm
more people,
walking.
especially on a Saturday. Yeah, so that's my little spiel there. So
Uber's over. I'm walking.
we're okay. You can walk. I will take an Uber.
If I start now, I
so
could bike down to California.
Not that anybody would go to a meetup with just me. That'd be weird.
No, I'm saying I could bike down to California.
There
If
you
I
go.
started now, I'd be
Cool.
down there before you get down there.
Yeah, there
That'd be
you go.
great.
Okay. Do you think it's possible we see the Devils play the Rangers in the playoffs this year?
That'll be the matchup in the first round if it started today. I don't see any reason why not, but the Metro is not that easy to predict, in that Washington and Pittsburgh are within shouting distance of each other. Not very much shouting either. They're very close. But yeah, I think that would be a fun matchup in the first round for obvious reasons. The dislike would ramp up very, very quickly between the two, and those are usually the best series to watch.
Do you think you will ever get drafted to the NHL?
At 50, I'm thinking probably not. Usually with prospects, they're not as happy with the idea of bringing them in their 50s. So probably no.
Shannon's turning 21. Yeah. I don't know how that works with the age of children.
I mean, 21, and then you add a multiplication factor to that. But yeah, no. Hey, kitty.
Okay. Let's see if I can get caught back up. Did Goudreau coming to Calgary help Sutter?
Comments
Ari,
about Pelche's debut. Not that Sutter cares about reaction. Was Daryl punking media? No, I think he was just, they'd won the game, and he was not wanting to answer questions about Pelche. I don't think he finds a guy's debut in the NHL to be as important as those players do, or necessarily as important as the media or fans do. There's always a lot of hype with prospects, and a lot of the time it's I can't say it's unwarranted, but it's kind of blown out of proportion a little bit. And I think with Pelche, it's probably part of it. He definitely played better last night than he did in his debut.
Yager's still playing hockey. Could he play in the NHL, then retire in the NHL?
No, he's at the NHL level. It's done. He wouldn't be playing at home either. He feels like it's his responsibility to play. And he will play for as long as he physically can. But yeah, he won't be back in the NHL.
Do you watch Disney's The Owl House? I have not watched it. Shannon has not watched it. That is our kids' favorite show.
Is it a ride?
Our 15-year-old. He's almost 16. That is his very, very favorite show. So I am familiar with it. Never watched it. The bag that I made for Gabriel for Disneyland, it's from the Owl House. I had to recreate a bag from the show. I just saw pictures of it. Apparently it looks good. So you'll see pictures of the Owl House bag in Disney Pictures. Really appreciate your enthusiasm with the Sabres this year. It's a long shot for the playoffs, but hopefully, if not this season, then next.
I hope so. I'm tired of the Sabres always being at the bottom of the standings, so it would be nice to see them do well.
Since you're going to California, will you be jumping over a San Jose shark? Do you think you will be discovered in Hollywood?
I'm not going to be in Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we'll be in California for roughly a week. There won't be anything hockey that I'm doing there other than watching and recapping games. Watching them will be a bit of a challenge, but I'll get it done. I'm already petting you. What more do you want? So yeah, but there's only the 5 games while we're down there. There's 3 one day and 2 the next. So it'll be quick while we're down there, and I might get creative about all that. And again, I'll be doing a bunch of shorts while we're down there because I think that'll be fun in Disney.
Shannon needs a trip to Tim Hortons. We can definitely walk for that trip.
I don't
Watching
really do Tim Hortons that often. I don't know if I'm Canadian because I don't really do Tim Hortons that often.
Adelaide and I go to Tim Hortons.
This is true.
Timmy's has great tea, and the kids love the Timbits, and my kids by far prefer Timmy's hot chocolate. They
Watching
really
any
like-
of the Aussie
yeah.
Open, I've seen some of it. It's usually on later on at night. For us, it's on at night. So if it's late, I'll throw it on for a bit. I do enjoy tennis. I really do. I enjoy watching tennis. I've enjoyed it for most of my life. It's just I don't do videos on tennis, so it's not a priority right now.
We need a picture of you and Goofy. That'd be great.
I had a picture of me last time with Dale
Yes. Yeah.
because
We're
I
going
told
to a
him
character
I
breakfast.
told him
so-
I thought Chip was always kind of overrated, and I always liked Dale better, and Dale thought that was great, so we became friends. Wonder if he'll remember me when I go down there.
Yeah, I'm probably. It's been many years, but yeah, I'm sure he'll remember
Who could
you.
forget this face?
Right? I know. You're very
So-
memorable.
Your hand
A
is
worm
freezing.
face.
Freezing.
Oh my! I am so cold.
She's
Yeah.
ridiculously cat.
Oh my gosh, you are so warm. Oh, this is great.
Does the cat get to go? Sadly, no. I
Um,
think that would be a very unpleasant experience for the cats going on vacation.
Our cats don't like to leave the house.
Yeah. So as much as they won't
Shadow
be all that
and Bear
happy,
don't like it when anybody comes into our house.
so we're careful about who's coming in. So my mom's watching the house, and we've got somebody coming in to help with feeding the animals and taking care of them too.
Well, not really. Your mom can do the feeding part, but she can't really do the taking care of part. So we have somebody come in to help her with that. So
Yep. So
is
it'll
Tim
be-
Hortons like Waffle House? I hear people say Waffle House a lot. I'm gonna guess no, but I've
no
never
waffles at,
seen a
Timmy's.
Waffle House.
There's no waffles at Timmy's.
I don't. Isn't Waffle
Timmy's is
House
all like
a
breakfast.
place?
Timmy's is breakfast and lunch sandwiches,
It's like a bakery,
and well, it used to
kind
be.
of. It's
Used
a
to be.
donut shop.
Used to be. The donuts are kind of secondary now. It's really
Right.
sad.
It's a really cheap donut
Sad.
shop. So they've got coffee, tea drinks, hot chocolate,
We haven't watched
donuts, and
We
soup
haven't
and
watched
sandwich.
Last of Us yet, but it is on my watch list. I want to watch Last of Us. I haven't seen a good zombie show since Daryl got hit, or Daryl since they bashed the guys in the head with the bat. Since Glenn died, I stopped watching Walking Dead that moment. I was like, I'm done. Never went back. So I haven't watched a good zombie show since then. And Yvonne loves zombie shows.
I don't. I
She
really
loves zombie shows.
I don't. I
She
really
loves
don't.
horror stuff.
That's
She's
not a
always
thing.
like, "Can we watch more Evil Dead?" I'm like, "We just
That's
watched Evil Dead."
Definitely not a thing. Is Yvonne's hands as cold as the Arctic Circle? I am really cold.
They're ridiculously cold.
It's really cold.
But at any rate, we should get going. It is 4:00. So yeah, we'll come back and do this
A
again.
power ranking done by Yvonne.
Yeah, I don't know. I want to do
Oh
something
my
while
gosh.
we're in. I want to do something while we're in California. I just haven't figured out exactly what yet, but I want to do something fun when we're in.
Okay,
California.
Waffle House is more like a diner. Timmy's is more like a Dunkin'
Yeah,
Donuts.
That's true. Yeah.
Okay,
Dunkin'
I
Donuts
figured
works.
Waffle House was kind of like a diner.
Yeah.
Yeah, Timmy's is like a Dunkin' Donuts, but better than Dunkin' Donuts.
True.
We've gone there in the States and we were not
There's another-
impressed. Yeah, hold on.
Just the one item.
Yeah, not impressed with Dunkin' Donut.
Patch is
at
out again.
all.
What's Carolina's plan to fill the gap? Apparently, right now they're not panicking about going out and finding somebody, but they will need a winger at the deadline. So keep an eye on wingers that are available at the deadline. The money's there; they can make that work. Because Patch already comes off the cap. They're going to be active.
Literally, they only answer super chats. No.
And yet that's not the case because we've been answering other questions.
We
in this as
do.
well.
I do try and read
But
all
remember,
of
the other
super
option
chats,
is we
but,
don't answer super chats, which makes it much worse.
But the time
So,
between, I do
but at any
read
rate,
the non-super chats.
thanks, guys, for coming out.
We're
We will
going
do
to
this again.
Disneyland.
Yeah, we're going to Disneyland. So
Yeah.
look for videos for me from Disneyland.
And there will be pictures on the Facebook
Yep.
page.
And a lot of shorts, especially on the Entertainment Guy. The Entertainment Guy is going to be getting a lot more videos, brand new videos than this channel during that week because it's going to be backwards time. But at any rate, thanks guys for coming out. And we will definitely enjoy our trip. Thank you guys so much. And take care.